Good morning, Gabe. How you doing, sir? I did get your message, by the way. I'm gonna make it right because I don't think that was cool what happened with your coloring book. So I will definitely make that right. So I do apologize for that happening. That was not supposed to be in the cards. That is the first time that's happened. So I'm gonna have to change my packaging system so that doesn't happen. All right. So let's see where we're at. I do have some blank spaces, but I'll get back to those in just a little bit. I did get my Kazar drawn up. So I just got to go ahead and get him inked today. So I want to do that. So that's him. He finally got done. I did that yesterday. We are also going to work on this dude, Magneto. We're going to color up Luke Cage. I think. Oh, we got a lot of them that were already pre-set up today. All right, so we got those couple. And then on top of that, I got Moon Knight, Nightcrawler, and Omega Red. So we're going to just start with the first three depending on time, because I'm trying to push it to like 11 Eastern time, and then we'll go from there. So I think we'll start off with the one that's already pre-set up. We'll start off with Luke Cage. And let me just fix my time lapse camera real fast because I don't want this to get messed up. I think that's going to be good. Let me bring it down a little bit here. Well, that's not good. I have another camera that I'm using for my time lapse, so I've been trying to figure out how to best put it up so that way it doesn't end up falling. I think we're good. I think I got it in a good spot. All right. I think that's good. Yeah, my hand should not be too much in the way. Thank you very much. What's up, Melly? Welcome to the stream. All right, so let me fix this over here. Your other stuff, just so you know, Gabe, should be on its way. Storm stuff kind of is holding up some of the stuff that's being shipped, so I do apologize. Shows. Yeah, let's see. Why is it showing me the wrong shows? That's weird. Okay, open show. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get Nick Cage or not, Luke Cage going here. Mm, all right, so I got to worry more about this one than I do this guy. Trying to set up these two cameras is a big pain in the butt. Yes, I do blank covers. If you give me just a couple of minutes, I'll go grab you a couple so you can see what they look like. So hang on one sec. I'll be right back. All right, so here we go. You ready for some blank covers? All right, there's one right there. That's Bishop. You got Magneto. We have a Transformer. Got a little bit of Spider Man there. You're a fan of Rocket. Let's see who else do we have here. Oh, this one's a good one. And I apologize, but this one's already spoken for. But this one here is a dope one too. So yes, I definitely do blank covers. I have a bunch of them in my stock right now. So if there's something that you're looking for, I do have a bunch of Fantastic Four ones. I have Street Fighter, some Deadpool, Spawn, and if there's one that you want specifically, you can let me know. All right. So pricing wise, let me see something real quick here. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've looked at that on my inventory, so I'll take a look real quick. I think they were starting at 55, I believe. My memory serves me right, but I'll double check and make sure. Oh, my covers have been removed. Oh, I must have sold my last one on there. But I am starting those off at 55, just so you know. All right, let me go and throw one up there, and I'll let you I'll go ahead and get that set up for you. Give me just a minute, and I'll create one real quick, and then that way we're good to go. Okay. Oh, we're gonna go. Let me know which character that you would like to do. You can message me and let me know. Okay, that's that. Start those off at 55, not 5,500. And that on there. Because they're not very heavy, and I just need to get let's see in there. Okay. Let me pop a quantity in here, then we're good to go. All right, so let me publish that. Hang on one sec. Failed to publish. Pictures. Hang on, let's do it this way. It's so slow doing it on my computer. It's amazing how things have been made to do mobile. Like you have to like it makes it much easier for you to do it that way. Um, oops, okay. Was thinking about Punchline Savage. let me go and grab what I have as far as my stock goes. I know I have some things that are coming in. Hang on one second. To the garage. Yeah, buddy. I know. You're trying to get my attention. I know you're trying to get my attention. I see you. I see you. I do see you. Just don't worry. I do see you. Two things at once. I can't do it. Those are the ones that Rob. Um, some of the ones that Rob has on my list. And I'll be like, listen, I don't know what you want to do, but you're gonna need to figure this one out. All right. So sorry about that. What's up, Christy? All right. So here are the blank covers that I have available, guys. Move this out of the way. Move that. All right. So I have Daredevil, Spawn, Transformers, another Spawn. That would be good for like a Vampirilla piece there, or Lady Death. That would be a good one. Amazing Spider-Man, a New Mutants '98, Deadpool Wolverine, Deadpool Old Man Logan. You can see that those were ones I got back when the Wolverine movie was coming out. Berserker. If you're an old school fan, you got GoBots, Battle Beast. I have an Old Man Logan, Fantastic Four, Spawn Kills Every Spawn, Deadpool Secret Wars, The Curse of Shelley Johnson. Great book, by the way. And then Mega Man. So those are all the book covers that I have that are blank and that are available. So you're more than welcome to any of those. Okay. You just let me know and we'll get it moving. Oops. Oh, it's in the wrong setting. It's on time saver mode. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's start from the top. All right, there's a Mega Man one. There's the Curse of Shelley Johnson. Deadpool Secret Wars. This is the Spawn Kills Every Spawn. Oh, okay. I can go through them fast. Okay, cool. Fantastic Four. Old Man Logan. Got a Battle Beast. GoBots. Berserker. Deadpool. Deadpool Wolverine. A New Mutants '98. Amazing Spider-Man. A Spawn. Transformers. A King Spawn. And then lastly, Daredevil. So any of those. All great books. No problem. Go take your time, please. Let me know. And while you're doing that, while you're thinking through that one, I'm going to get started on my stuff. That way you can kind of see what's going on. Make sure this time, let's see, screen time. Gotta make sure this phone's not in. Oh man, I gotta update this phone. All right, cellular. I need to go to. No, it's not low power mode. It just isn't doing its thing yet. Okay, let's go. All right, Luke Cage, we're gonna go ahead and do your time lapse. Hope you're ready. Yeah, I can see it. Is that okay? Can you see it from there? Yeah, I was I was adjusting it for that for the other camera. So I just had to move the other camera, get it in place, and then make the whatnot one my primary. Okay. So as we all know, the big thing about Luke Cage is the yellow. That is his big signature piece. So I got to make sure I do that right and give it justice. Come in there with that yellow. Because there's a lot of big things popping up lately. Like if you're a comic fan, now is the time. I know they just dropped or they're getting ready to drop Wonder Man. I gotta check that out. That's I've heard it's fantastic. So that's next on my list. I hope so. I mean, I'm honestly looking forward to seeing a good series. It has been a very long time. Marvel needs some wins, especially going into December. They really need as many wins as they can get. So if this is good and Spider-Man Brand New Day and Daredevil, if all those are wins, then they're in good shape. I mean, if anything, this is going to be the year that Disney actually gets another $1 billion in the bank for sure. Yeah, and that's the part that I didn't understand. But you know what? I'd rather have a good character versus worrying about the ethnicity of the character. If a person can play the role right, then I'm okay with that. Yeah, I had the same exact take when they announced who was going to be Wonder Man. I was like, that's not right because I even have like the first Wonder Man comic, and I'm like, that's weird. But again, it goes back to who's the best person to play the character. And if they felt like that was the best option to take to push it forward, then good for them. I mean, well, let's be honest. I mean, ethnicity, look of the character hasn't been really a big issue for a lot of things that Marvel does because everybody can look back. Like, um, if you look back at who is it? Hugh Jackman. So Hugh Jackman's 6'5", right? Like he's a big dude. But when you look at um Wolverine, he's little. He's tiny. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, does it make a difference? Nah, not really. But yeah, I mean, here's the reality of it. Black Manta in the DC universe, everybody can agree that that guy, that character was played completely wrong, and it was made worse when they made that second movie. The actor himself, he's really talented. Yeah, I'm not. I just want to see a good story at the end of the day, and that's one thing about these shows. Like, if they make a good show and they create good characters, create good settings, everything falls into place the way it's supposed to. Sorry, I'm trying a technique I haven't tried in a bit, and that's just kind of coating the Copics or coating the Prisma with the Copics. Ooh, Black Cat on the Spider-Man Blake. I can do that. I can do that. So you want to do that one right there with the Black Cat on it? Okay, we can do that. I can definitely knock that one out the park. Let me just jot that down so that way I have it on my list. Black Cat. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So I got that one on hold for you. I'll probably start that one later today so I can get it out as soon as possible. Where are my new color pencils? Yep. As soon as you pay, yeah. I'm still going to hold it. I'll still hold it aside so that way nobody else ends up snagging it. But I also hold it aside so I don't forget it. That's the bigger part. Oh, the listing isn't. Hold on one sec. Let me see what's going on. Let me see because it was supposed to have posted. So if you go on there, let me see here. Oh, I know why it's not posted. Okay, I know why. Let me do this. Let me fix this inventory. And just this one back here. This guy, and we're gonna add. Okay. Let me know if you see it there now. It should be there. Yeah, it's in the main shop, but I went ahead and just put it on the page as well. This is a good thing for me to note that multitasking for me when I'm doing this stuff, it's kind of rough. Yeah, I'm so happy I was able to get that Kazar piece set up. I was so mad about that for the longest. So yesterday I had some free time and I was like, I'm gonna try to knock out as many of these mock-ups as I can before I leave. And within like 20 minutes, I was able to get two or three of them done. Yeah, so if you go to this, give it to you right now so that way you have it. Where's my chat? Give it to you right now. Should be under the same exact listing, like same exact profile name. So if you go under that, it should be there. What's going on, Sophia? Underneath. Yes, I definitely am a coffee drinker for sure. Have to have the coffee in the morning. It's like a must. I don't drink it as much as I really would like to, but when I can. Mondays are the day that I typically drink it the most. Thank you. I'm not sure what you're asking because I don't do coffee at Costco. Oh, so the coffee of choice that I do a lot of Keurig coffees. Um the one I love the most is one called it's a Bailey's coffee, and then we have an espresso one that we use at work. Those are my favorite two to use. And with just a little bit of creamer in there, I'm good to go. I just do the creamer just so I can have a color. I don't like mine like completely black. Yeah, if I had the time to do all that where I could get my coffee grounds done, I would. But I do not. I don't make time for that. I know it sounds weird. My old Keurig, I used to do that. I used to have Cuban coffee that I would drink, and that was really good. That was exceptionally good. I love that. That stuff was so just yum yum. Unfortunately, where I'm at, we don't have authentic Cuban coffee. It's this kind of makeshift Cuban coffee. Um, we have a Cuban store nearby that has some, and that's yum. And they make it, but that's the only place nearby. I remember the first time I ever saw this character, um, this new version of him. I was like, "Who is this guy? Like, this guy looks crazy." What's up, Purple Haze? Um, I saw him in a book that Humberto Ramos was drawing, and I was like, "Man, this guy looks kind of cool looking." I didn't realize it was Luke Cage because the Luke Cage that I grew up with did not look like this. Luke Cage had the little thing on his head and all that stuff, but I had been out of comics for so long, and he had popped back in while I was gone from comics, so I wasn't sure who he was. Took a minute to kind of understand that what was going on, what was happening. Yeah, yesterday was a fun day. I got to do a April O'Neil. That was cool. I'm gonna have to show that one off here in just a minute because that April O'Neil came out really good. I think I'm happy with him. He wasn't a hard one. But let me show you guys April O'Neil so that way you can see what's up. This was April. So there's April O'Neil from yesterday. That's the one I knocked out. So she was fun. All right, so Luke Cage is a done deal. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so here's what we got on tap for next. I have Magneto and Kazar. So I have to do Kazar first because he's been my pain in my butt. So I'll do him first, and then I'm going to go and knock out Magneto. That's the goal. Kazar, For those of you that are not familiar with this guy, he's kind of like George of the Jungle. So see how this all pans out. Yeah, he was a bit of a pain. I think the problem was that I was trying to get a certain look to him, and it wasn't coming out when I was doing it. So I had to kind of reset. And it's okay for you to do those kind of things. I mean, sometimes when you're struggling, if you step away from it, eventually you will get it. Keeps on trying to shut off. Why? I'm going in there with a Micron 005. So if anybody wants to know what that is, and I'm tinkering with Micron is this guy here. So that's a 005. It's very fine tip on that guy. And then once I got the face done, then I can just go in with my regular one and just start going to work. Going on, Winch? Angel, good morning. All right, I think I'm going to shut this down so that way I can focus because this thing keeps on deciding it wants to die. But I got enough video on there, so I'm good. Okay. Reset that this weekend so that way I can have that second phone to do my time lapses. Then if my son's phone breaks, then I can just give him that one. All right. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Any fun things happening out there for anybody? Like new adventures that you're going to take on, like new challenges? Case in point, today I'm going back to the gym for the first time in 2 years. I didn't want to do it on the first. I thought it was a bad idea, which I'm glad I didn't do. You have to do it when you're ready. I'm not a real big. I enjoyed doing the gym at one point in time, but the gym can sometimes seem like work, and I don't like that feeling when you got to do that. When I used to run like competitively, that wasn't work. That was a lot of fun. So I think going back to the gym now, it's just there's new challenges that I'm going to take on, and that's why I'm going back. So anybody else in the realm of like health or doing new challenges? Yeah, I mean, here's the beauty of it. If you go back and you start working out again, um, just health wise, it just feels better to do it. I can just say from my own perspective, I always felt better when I was running. It was one of those very just calming things for me. Oops. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no worries on that, game. Yeah, I just this year, well, not this year, this has been an ongoing thing. So every year, um, my wife and I have a whiteboard and or our own whiteboards, and it basically shows what our goals are. So we have spiritual goals, work goals, we have personal goals, all those kind of things put on the board, and then they're all driven by a faith message, right? So a lot of my goals are wrapped around um, a lot of the art stuff that I want to do, um, that I see happening down the road. So things like getting my own art area to work in. This is not it. This is just a room that I work in. But I just want to have my own desk where it's set up the way that I want it. And I don't have to move anything anymore. Yeah, it's very much like a vision board, but um, it's set up with all the goals. And we specifically put it in places where we can look at it every day. Like we can legit walk out of our house and it's right there for us to know exactly what we're focused to do for the year. Last year had a very successful year as far as hitting all the goals that we wanted to hit. And this year we are very driven to do the same thing again. Working out was not one of my goals that I had on my vision board. That just We have a bunch of people at my church that are trying to get healthier and better. And the problem with me is that I don't like not being part of a challenge. I like being challenged. I like being tested. And this is one of my tests that I'm going to do because I've been wanting to get back to where I was. And actually, I'm never going to get back to that point. And I realized that took me a little bit to understand that. And I'm going to make myself better than I was. Because when you're in your 40s, the way that you do things is way different than what you do in your 20s and 30s. So you have to be a little bit more aware of what your body can do and not push it in arenas where you could actually physically hurt yourself. Because you got to look at the long term effects. In my 20s, I didn't think about that. In my 30s, I was cognizant of it, but I didn't. I was really like, yeah, let's keep on rolling. Let's roll. We got this. Cool. He is good to go. Oh, I gotta get the top of the spear. So like I want to go back competitively, or not competitively, but going back into long distance running. But because of what I did to my knee a couple of years ago, it limits what I can do. I could do the long distance running, but my abilities to be able to walk well would be severely impacted. Yeah, I tell everybody the story in reference to that one. That would hurt. So I would say back in 2021. Hey there, Sakin. Back in 2021, I was working for a school, and in that school, we were playing tag for just to keep the kids busy. No, no big issue. Um, the day prior, I had run, no issues, none at all, and I was fine. And then this next day, I go out there, I try to juke a kid, and mind you, I'm in dress shoes on mulch, and I try to juke a kid. I think I go left, and then as soon as I try to go right, my foot is planted, and I turned on my knee. So I tore the quadriceps tendon in my leg, in my right leg. I turned with so much force, it literally, tore it almost in half. Um, so it's better than it was better than a collapse, because the collapse would have been way worse. A collapse, just so anybody that's not in the medical field, a collapse is where you actually do a complete tear. But this was just partial. However, my leg or my knee went from like a regular looking knee up to like the size of a cantaloupe. And I thought people would lie about this whole cantaloupe thing, but yeah, the swelling for something like that, it's insane. So I went all over to go get x-rays. Obviously the x-ray didn't show what was going on. They sent me for an MRI. It was a whole bunch of crap, because dealing with um, workman's comp is a bit of a pain if you've never done it before. And come to find out, yeah, they were like, if you want to be able to do what you want to do, you're gonna have to get this repaired. One guy just wanted to go ahead and make me do rehab, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. It's like, you're just not giving me sound information here. So luckily the lead surgeon was on the phone. He's like, do you want to be able to run again? Do you want to be able to walk in your 40s just fine? I was like, yeah. He's like, you're getting surgery. So he scheduled me for the surgery. About a month or so later, I finally was scheduled, and um, yeah, all was done. Just so you know, if you're ever working with workman's comp, you need to advocate for yourself. I know that's a sidebar, but workman's comp can be a big pain in the butt for anybody that has to deal with it. You need to be very forceful with them, and they don't like it when you're like that. That, I mean, that's a lot of work on them. There's a lot of work that needs to be done for those kind of things, but there's very few people that do the job. So you really got to advocate for yourself. Um, and don't get me wrong, I feel bad for how I treated some of the people that were in workman's comp, but at the same time, they weren't doing their job. So I had to drop the hammer on a couple of them. I didn't like doing that, but it was. When you bring up the words, I got to go talk to my lawyer, then they start changing their tune real fast. Yeah, it was weird. So they wanted to give me what was it? Cortisone injections, which I don't recommend anybody getting, because it eats away at the muscle. Um, so anyway, got the cortisone shot. They work for a short term, and depending on your metabolism, you're gonna go through that stuff pretty fast. So I had a really good surgeon and surgical assistant that helped me out, and they were like, "Why don't you look into getting these gel shots, which are not it's not cortisone. Basically, what it is it's like a think of it like jelly, like you're putting lubricant between your joints, and that should relieve some of the pain. But again, it's short term." And then she was like, "Well, there's another option that you can do, and it's called a PRP shot, and this can help for anybody that might be having joint pain. So you might want to look into this." Um, so with the PRP shot, what ends up happening is they use your own plasma. So you're using parts of your blood to um, to heal. Basically, it's like stem cells for your body, right? So when I was going through that, they kept on telling me they were going to send these gel shots, right? And I went back and forth with them for almost 2 months. Going, it's like, why are you guys not sending me this stuff? You guys are lying. You said you sent it. You never sent it, and blah blah blah, right? So I literally got on the phone with this lady. I said, "Listen, I don't understand what your problem is. Um, all I really want to do is you guys got to authorize these people to use a centrifuge, which they have. They got to inject me with this plasma, which is mine. You don't have to send anything. All they have to just do is do the work, authorize the thing." So after about 2.5 months, they finally authorized it, and I was able to get that PRP shot. So that just is one of those things when anybody here that's on the stream that has to deal with workman's comp, you just got to push. You got to push hard. And I wish I had known this prior because it would not have taken 2 months. It would have definitely taken way less. I mean, I had like 6 different people dealing with my case from the time I started all the way to the time it ended. And most of those people switched in the very beginning. So that you had to start all the way from the bottom and work all the way up again. Sending numerous emails, keeping all of your notes, like any call that you made, making sure that you jot down all the information, make sure you know who the supervisors are, all that. You need to really be on top of that stuff. Should anybody run into that, it sucks. Yeah, I mean, well, the PRP shots, I will say this much: it hurts like a bitch. I mean, the cortisone shot hurt because they had to go underneath the knee, but once it was done, within 5 minutes, I started feeling better. After the 3 shots, and this was over a month and a half that I had to do these shots, it was perfect. Like, it didn't hurt at all. And my leg has gotten stronger. Like, I was never able to walk upstairs without pain. Just imagine that, you being able to, go up and down flights of stairs, no issue. You walking across the ground and your leg just gives out on you. That's weird. I'm gonna have to let this sit for a minute. Like, your body's not supposed to do that. And I would say that's a better way of dealing with that whole thing. What about Killmonger? Great character, by the way. Hey, M Dog, what's going on, sir? Yeah, so all that to be said, bigger story is that I'm finally going back to the gym after multiple years of not being in there. I'm gonna see how it goes. If I like it, I'm gonna keep going with it. If I don't, then guess what? I don't have to keep on doing it. I'm gonna do what makes me happy. Killmonger is not on the list. No, as far as the list goes, let me actually. Where is my binder? Yeah, because I'm on the back end of the. I'm way past the halfway point of my Marvel series. I'm actually gonna pull the list out because I gotta start checking off people. Oh, I know I have some new people on here. Oh, no. I'm not trading anybody out. I would just add them to my list. So this is for anybody that's new to this whole thing. And I know I have a lot of new people on here today. So you see me doing sketch cards. There's a bigger plan for this. So I'm doing 1,000 sketch cards. Taking a whole year to do the whole process. And I have 10 different categories. So I have Marvel, I've got DC, I have Image comic books, Transformers, anime, cartoons, wrestlers, movies, and Pokemon. So I have all of those. I'm trying to wrap this guy up. I'm hoping I can finish up this before the end of January. That's the hope. Thank you. Yeah. That's actually my border that I took from the Marvel set. So I can't take credit for that. I just went ahead and modified it to match my colors. You can see how much I love those stylings. So this is the 100 for Marvel. There's a bunch of them that have been sold already, and more to come. But I'm getting through it. I'm gonna wrap up this side, and I'll come back and get like Echo and Fing Fing Foom and all those. So I already have the mock-ups for them, and I'm going to get them going as well. So for those of you that are not familiar with mock-ups, let me see if I can find my page. Oh, I got it right here. So this is a little helper for my artist friends out there and people that are starting to um, do the mock-ups. So I don't spend more than like 5 minutes per mock-up. I just want to get my idea out there quick, quick, quick. And it's good for you to do this because it's a good training exercise. All right, so the mock-ups are basically like blob figures of the actual characters. And you can see like this one, even though you can't see her face, and I'm not trying to get details. I just want to get the overall shape of the character. So I have Jessica Jones here. I got Jubilee, Juggernaut. This is the Khazar one. I can't remember this guy's name. I'll have to pull him up. Kraven the Hunter, Luke Cage, which this one I changed. Magneto, I kept the same. Then I'm going to do Mantis after that. But you can take a look. Here's an example. Here's Khazar's. There's his mock-up. There's his final piece. So I wanted to give it a little bit more action. So I pulled him back and turned his body a little bit so that way he kind of looked like he was about to stab something. And you can kind of see I kind of tilted up his the spear tip because it almost is like the thing is broken a little bit. So I wanted to have that little bit in there as well. So that is a good example. And let me give you an even better one. Yeah, I just doing those kind of things is also doing the mock-ups. You can always change it because you're working fast. You're not trying to get it all out there in one shot, right? So that's a good example. So there's Juggernaut, and then there's the Juggernaut mock-up. I'm not trying to do perfect. I just want to get it to the point where it's looking good. All right, so we got Khazar. So here is, so you can see Kraven the Hunter there, and then there's Kraven finished. So zoom in on that. Oh, so yeah, I mean, I'm no, as far as the 1,000, it's just the goal is to get them done in a year. Started in November, and I'm going to wrap this thing up by the end of the year. And it's gonna be rough. I mean, it's hard thinking about that you're going to draw 100 different characters per. And the hardest part about it is a lot of these characters I've never drawn before. I'm okay with that. You know, can you imagine drawing 1,000 or 100 different Transformers? Like all of them are different, right? The form though is pretty much the same. I think the Pokemon ones are going to be probably the easiest ones because they're simple shapes. They don't have a lot of extra bits to them. They have little small intricate details that are added to them, but that's the one I'm looking forward to doing the most. Cartoon characters is going to be fun because I want to do Darkwing Duck and I want to do Gizmo Duck. Those are ones that I'm definitely looking to do down the road. And mind you, anybody here that's on the stream that wants to, put in suggestions, I'm always looking for suggestions. I just had somebody throw down the Rocketeer last week or earlier this week, and then I had VeeFriends, which I'm not familiar with, but I'm definitely down to check it out and add that to the lot. Okay, we're gonna give him this bright yellow hair. And then we'll tone it down a little bit. I'm not punching that in. So is anybody working on something fun today? Or are you guys just sitting up here just listening to me rant? Yeah, it's an insane number. But I'm sure I can hit the mark. I'm very stubborn. Well, here's what's going to end up happening, and I can see that I have 2 card shows that I have coming up here in the next. One's a card show and then one's a artist day. So the artist day is going to be first. So February the 7th in Melbourne, Florida. I'm going to be at one of my favorite comic book shops, and we are going to be doing an artist day. So people can come in and they can um, we do free commissions. So I don't do commissions on these. These are paid for. But we do like free sketches for kids and families that come in. So that's gonna be fun. So I can get through a lot of that because for some reason, whenever I'm doing an artist day, the creative muscle works a lot better because I'm just in a flow. I literally am on autopilot and things move a lot faster. So there's that. And then I'm going to be doing a card show. And usually when I'm at the card show, I get a lot of requests and I can bang through a lot of characters very fast. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, really? What's the drawing competition? Or you're going to hold off on what the drawing competition is until you do the YouTube? You're not going to tell us what it is, right? Until the show. Oh, well, that sounds fun. Okay. Send me over a link to the YouTube, and I'll definitely take a look at it tonight because I have a class, but I can definitely I don't have a class. I'll listen to it on my way home. And if you want to, you can share the link here on the thing. I'm sure some people would love to be a part of it. Perfect. Thank you for doing that. I was watching somebody's stream. Actually, I was watching Kay's stream the other day, and I don't know what your all's thoughts are on this, but I don't have a problem with this. So there's a guy that was on her channel, and he asked. Now he didn't just throw his stuff out there. So he asked. He goes, "Hey, you mind if I promote some of the work that I do on your channel?" And the K was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. I don't have a problem with you doing that. By all means, we're here to like spread the word, right, and get people out there." And somebody got mad at the guy. He was like, "Why would you come on somebody else's channel and uh, try to promote yourself?" Look, at the end of the day, if we're not trying to help other people, it's gonna do nothing to push our stuff. We shouldn't be just so sensitive to the fact that we are not willing to engage and help other people because some people have better followings than others. And if you can just help one person, you get a little bit more, a little bit further. Why wouldn't you? It's almost like this: if you see somebody hungry on the side of the road, and I mean a legit somebody, I'm not talking about somebody that's trying to grab money from you, but a legit somebody trying to get some food, why would you not want to help them? So she was being very, very nice about it, and I'm glad that she did because the guy, seemed like he really just wanted to, put his word out there and get everybody to know who he was. So good on her. I just want to put that out there. Yeah, Kay's a really cool, kind-hearted soul. Just trying to help people. Oops, zoomed out of my own area. Let me switch over to my computer so I can see what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm so waiting for the day that Um, Whatnot's going to go to widescreen instead of this landscape or this portrait view. Then you don't have to worry about too much of the zoom in, zoom out because you have all your space. I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't know why they've decided not to go to a landscape view. I mean, even from a selling standpoint, I think it just make more sense because you have more area to tinker with. Maybe one day we'll see it happen. Hopefully they'll hear my calls and be like, yeah, let's see if we can change that. Listen, I'm gonna as much as I don't want to do this and say it out there, but if they were to say, hey, you want to do widescreen, it'll cost you $2 a month, as a seller, I might actually do that. Yeah, I know it's mainly mobile, but you know, even if it being mobile, there are a lot of people. I know a lot of people that watch it on their tablets and stuff like that. When I watched my first one, I was on my tablet because when I was watching it, I just happened to be watching Ryan Otley doing some of his work, and I'm like, I would love to be able to see more of the work because he's in this small little box, and see if you don't have your camera in the right spot, you're too far off. That's the part I don't like about it. It's a minor complaint. It's not a make or break for me, to be honest. I get it from their point of view, though. But the thing is, the weird part is that we as a society, we went from small screens to big screens, right? So I don't know, some of us in here are, remember the days when we had tube TVs, right? So the tube TVs were, an aspect ratio of 4:3, right? And then they kind of forced us into going to the 16:9, so widescreen, because they sold us on the fact that we have more to look at. Well, why don't you just give that back to us, mobile or not? Most of the apps can flip back and forth. Thank you very much. All right, guys, don't forget tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Painting with Watercolor is doing a sketch or a drawing challenge. So please, if you could go onto that channel and check it out, subscribe to him. He does a lot of watercolor, so yeah, you can actually up your skills with that stuff. Yeah, usually I'm in bed by 10, but that's okay. I'm going to try to make sure I'm up for that one. If not, just for a little bit. I look at it this way. I used to when I first started off my Whatnot stream, my streams used to be at 10:30 at night. That was late. Yeah, it was. I mean, 10:30 on a after getting done with work, that was hell on me. Like I know people that are working at 4 o'clock in the morning. They woke up at like noon, but their sleep schedule is different than mine. See, I work normal hours, so I can't be doing all that weird stuff as far as like staying up way late. Messes with my workflow. Nice. Okay. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna hope for the best. What's up, FB Flight? Okay. Well, I mean, all are different things that I don't do, but I'm down to try it. I'm just punching in a little bit of this orange very lightly into the background. Look at that, man. Only an hour and I've already got 2 characters done. I love it. Sweet. All right, so Kazar is done. He's a wrap. Um Thundercats is on my list. I don't think all of them are on the list. I believe just a couple of people. I think I have Mumra and Lino on there. I believe I have Monstar from Silverhawks on there. So I'm doing a lot of villains in my list. So I'm switching between 80s cartoons all the way up to 2000s. I'm doing both the characters from the SWAT Cats, Razor and I can't remember the other guy's name. Razor is something else. I'm doing Dexter. I'm going to do a little bit of Johnny Bravo. Um, what's his name? Doing Samurai Jack. Who else is on that list? Because I got a lot of people on there. There's a lot. I can just say that. I know I have the list. In fact, you know what? Even better. I put the list up on my website, so I can give you guys that right now. Road to 1000. I believe that's the page. No, that's not the page. Okay, hang on 1 second because I want to grab this for you guys and give this to you because this will have all the lists, and I'm probably going to touch these up a little bit, but these are the most current ones. And so I'll go in here and make sure I'm me. And I love web design. It's fun. They made it a lot easier nowadays. Where are my pages? It's not in here. That's why. Okay, it's not active. Would be a reason why it's not showing up. And look at it. Publish this. Menus and put it there. And website. give you guys this right now, so that way we have it. All right. That is the link for that. So that way you guys can check that out. So that will have all of the lists currently set up. So you can go through there. I don't know why it's not showing up on my phone. That's weird. It'll show up on my website, but that's weird. Okay, well, see what's going on there. But I can tell you this much. So, like, oh, it's broken. That's not cool. I'll have to fix that. So, hold off on that list because it's only showing 4 of the lists on there. Okay, so let me tell you just on the cartoon side of it, so that way everybody's on the same page. On the cartoon side, um, I have characters from Adventure Time: Bart Simpson, Beast Boy, Beavis and Butthead, Ben 10, Bender, Blossom. Definitely got to have Bluey in there. BoJack Horseman, got Bubbles, Bugs Bunny, Buttercup, Captain Planet, Casey Jones, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Cyborg, Darkwing Duck, Dexter, Donatello, Dot from Animaniacs, Doug, Ed, and Eddie, Eric Cartman, Fat Albert, Finn, Freakazoid, Garnet, Goliath, Grim, Gumball, Gizmo Duck, Phineas, the Pink Panther, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, Popeye, Raphael, Raven, Razor from the SWAT Cats, Ren from Ren and Stimpy, Rick from Rick and Morty, Rigby, let's see, Riley Friedman, the Roadrunner, Samurai Jack, Scooby Doo, Shaggy, She-Ra, Shredder, Skeletor, Slade Wilson, Smurfette, He-Man, Huey Friedman, got Homer, Kenny, Krang, Crumb, and so on and so forth. So they got a lot of people in there that I got to do. I don't want to go through all of them, but there's a ton of them in there. It'll definitely take me back to Saturday morning cartoons and or daily cartoons. What's that? Okay. I know what that was. Okay, so let's pop on some music. Let's get Magneto done next. And then hopefully we might be able to get through a couple more of these. Let's see. Let me see. Hey, wait. You need to show me. Okay, let's see here. All right. So good Magneto going here. It's been a minute since I've drawn a Magneto. I have a little Magneto that I have on my print sets, but I don't have a regular Magneto. Got some stuff coming down the pipe after this guy's done. So again, for people that are new here, the goal for this, in addition to knocking out 1,000 cards, the reason for a year is to, one, achieve the goal, and then two, I wanted to start working on my own graphic novel. And the only way that I figured I was going to do that is that I have to better my skills at drawing and drawing characters in different poses and all that stuff. So why not do it this way and use it almost like a cheat? So I get better at doing all these kind of little things, and then all of a sudden, voila, I got, not only, great work that I can, use for other things, but I also have, I've achieved my goal of getting better at, doing illustration. So it was twofold. So it's a smart way of doing it. What's up, Dave? I'm missing my pen. Oh, there it is, right there. I can read on it. Got challenged to watch the what is it, X-Men 97. Haven't started it yet. Somebody else reminded me of a show I have to watch first before I do that, but I'm definitely got that on my list. I heard it's supposed to be good. Sullivan, who was on here a couple days ago, he's the one that challenged me to it. I'm down to check it out. It's weird seeing this new generation of art. It is very, very different. What's up, Mega? Welcome to the stream. Let me find a picture of Magneto because I can't remember what he looks like. Okay. Yeah, there's certain parts of Magneto's look that have to be right. I don't want to mess that up. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, because he's got this part on his arm that I have to get right. I'm looking forward to this little challenge you got going on today, Gabe. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. What's up, Smiling Jack? Welcome to the stream. Working on this series of sketch cards here. Trying to knock this out really fast as I can. And yes, I did say 1,000. Yeah, a lot of people are doing a whole bunch of other things. This is like my focus. As I get commissions, I will do those. Like I have a sketch cover I'm supposed to do, so I'll probably break away from this and do that tomorrow. Actually, I have three of those I got to do. Have to do a touch up on one before I deliver it. This is like magnetic electricity that he is creating. So that would be a cool little effect for his hand. Got to find out how many people are excited about the Super Bowl, or are they more excited about the commercials? Because I know for me, I'm more excited about the commercials. I'm excited about movie trailers. I'm excited about seeing what new things they're going to drop down the pipe. Yeah, I don't watch the football game before the football game. I watch it for two reasons. One, I want to see good trailers. Number two, I want to um gotta remember what's what in here. Oh, okay. This is the black part. Black. That's black. Um so I'll watch for the commercials and I want to see the good halftime show. I was one of these people last year. I was not about the whole halftime show for last year. I was like, not really big fan. Why are they picking him? Are they doing it because of the whole Drake issue? It's good controversy, but from a marketing standpoint, I get it. It makes sense. Why wouldn't you? Got to kind of use it to your advantage. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people are hating on the fact that can't remember the guy's name, the artist that's doing it this year. A lot of people are hating on it, but I love Spanish culture. So the fact that you're going to get a Puerto Rican man that is going to come in there and give us a show, it's cool. I don't know a lot of his music. I'm looking at it more from a cultural standpoint. Because the last time I saw him perform, I don't understand Spanish, so I didn't understand what he was saying in his song. However, it looked like he was having a lot of fun, and this is when he was doing it on the Grammys last year. But it says a lot to people that if this man is able to have the following that he has globally, why wouldn't you want to have that be part of the biggest stage in entertainment? You may not believe with his political stuff, but that's your thing. That's fine. But pull that aside and just watch the show. Because there have been a lot of other controversial artists that have been on stage, and you know people are just finding a way to make things difficult. So it's going to be a fun little event. 2 weeks. Oh, that's smart. She probably was like, "You need to clean it up because you need to be ready for that show." I can hear her saying something like that. Hey, look, a good wife is a great thing to have because you feel like they're griping at you, they're actually doing you a favor. There are just certain things that women are way better at than guys are. I'm not gonna lie, and vice versa. Yeah, I told my wife the other day we were at this an opportunity that we had, and it was more for me than anything else. It'll help us ultimately, but she was in there. She's like, "So you're going to sign the paperwork, right?" I'm like, "No, not yet. Not until I get a chance to think about it and pray on it. I'm not doing any of that." She's like, "I'm with you." And when we're in alignment, when we're good, it's going to be golden. All right, so I think I got everything I need for him to look really good. So I think I'm going to do like a bluish purple for his, some mixed blue and purple in this piece. So I don't have any yellows or anything like that, so I can actually keep the blue pencil in there. Erase out some of these other little bits. Oh man, he's looking really good. I just got to put the border on him. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Gonna grab my one. I prefer my two. My two, real quick. That's my two. I started watching this show called Tell Me Lies. It's basically like a college drama, right? These friends, they come back together for a wedding, and it basically starts there, but it then introduces you how all these characters came together. It really reminds me of, when you're young, how dumb you are, like common sense things. Um, you don't use common sense when you're younger, so you're a little bit more cavalier in your stuff. And this show just accentuates that in a obviously in a grander way, but it's almost to the point where it's frustrating. Like, why would you do that? But then you sit back and like, I would have done that. But interesting show nonetheless. So it's a lot. It's a lot to watch. So you gotta, I wouldn't watch it around kids. Like if you got young kids, it's not a kids show. No, parental advisory definitely. So my cat really wants some attention. I'm not giving it to him. No. So let that cat in here, he would be all over the place. He'd be jumping on stuff that he's not supposed to jump onto. Just got to figure out how I'm going to achieve that reddish color that he's got. It's like a red purple. It's a very interesting set of colors. All right, so that's that. And now let's go ahead and start working on that red. Like most of the people that I see drawing this character, they punched in the red regardless. So I'm going to do the same. All right, so red across his helmet. I'm not going to go all the way across because we just got to make sure that reflects that color. It's the big part. Because he does have that glow coming out, so we don't want to show all of that. So I have this Artist Loft blue, and then I have a mic or a Copic. It's called Mauve Shadow, so it's a BV00. So those are just my base colors that I'm using for this, and then I'll end up using Prismacolors to wrap it all together. Yeah, again, it's one of those things like about color theory, so you're not going to use all. You're not going to try to get all the individual colors. You just want to kind of mix them together to get the goal or get to the goal. And see, right now, I know you're working on your characters and stuff like that, but I'm just trying to work with the shapes. So I want to make sure that, like, as the whole torso, it's round. So I want to make sure that I reflect that when I'm doing my shapes. So you can kind of see like it's bending across his pec and bending across the like the lower portion below his chest. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Arctic, I know you haven't been on here, but I'm working on a 1,000 card sketch card series, and this is Magneto on here, but I did a Kazar earlier, and then I also have a Luke Cage. So those were the two that were done earlier today. Doing 1,000 cards, 10 different categories. I think I've actually passed the 100 mark, and that's with the other commissions that I've done. But in this series, I think in the Marvel series, I believe I have 15 left to go, and this part of it is done. And then I go into DC after that. I appreciate it. I definitely do. Yeah, I've had a lot of people contributing to this, like as far as like ideas, and then I've had a lot of people, pick up a lot of the cards that I've created. Um, painting with watercolor. I actually got one from me. I actually got a couple from me, and then I was very fortunate when I first started this. I had a gentleman. He literally bought 25 of my cards, like right out the gate. Yes, Invincible is part of the Image. So the 10 categories are Marvel, Image, DC, Transformers, um, movies, video games, anime, Pokemon, wrestling, and cartoons. So Invincible will be part of the Image Comics side of things. So I tell everybody, like, if there's characters that you're wanting and stuff like that, um, you don't have to wait for me to get to them. If you want a card, let me know, and I that way just it goes to the whole list. Um, so that's an option up to you. If you decide that you want to get one, please by all means go ahead and order one. If not, no worries. I just the very least that you can do is just kind of like spread the word. That would be the most helpful. Oh man, I gotta put some red on this arm. Yeah, I definitely appreciate the love for the art. I'm so thankful for the people that actually come up on here. I enjoy talking to people. Yeah, anybody that supports the artists, that's really cool. It feels really hard. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like seeing people do cool stuff. I think it's fun because it kind of reminds me of Artist Alley at a convention, but I don't have to pay the money that go into the convention to go and check them out. There we go. He's good to go there. Now I just got to see about purple. I don't know if I have a purple that's going to work for this, but I'm going to see. I think this will work. Yeah, the problem is with those big name artists. Um, really, he's on there. You want to know something? I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna tell you something that actually happened. So because you watch this guy, but I'm gonna have to take a look at him. So John Beatty, when I did my very first free comic book day, John Beatty was at my free comic book day. He was actually the artist that was the featured artist at the comic book day, right? And I'll never forget, I was there and more people started flocking to me than him. And I think it was mainly because he was only doing certain characters. I don't take anything away from him. I was very fortunate to be there and being in his presence and drawing next to him. The dude is super awesome. I mean, he's very very sweet guy. Yeah, he definitely is. He's a legend in his craft. Yeah, I will never take anything away from him, but John Beatty is definitely cool. Yeah, and he's fast. That's the even at his age, like he is very fast. Yeah, you would think that like I think John is probably pushing like late 60s at this point. You would think most people would just like tail off. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've Ryan Otley will pop up from time to time, um, and he'll do some streams. And watching him work, that dude is awesome. But that's okay. I mean, you know what the best part about that though is that when those bigger artists are not on there, that gives a lot more shine to people that that are currently there, like these new coming artists. So that there is a payoff for that. But I would love to see like a Todd McFarlane or Jim Lee pop up there. That would be great. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try. I'm not even trying to do a hustle. I'm just trying to get in here and get as many shows as and that I can do a week. And I can honestly say I've been very successful with this whole thing. Yeah, and you know what? I would love. I wish I could get like an original Rob Liefeld piece. Like I don't even need him to draw a full size character. I just want him to do like a badass prophet like he used to do. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not even something that the normal person that could purchase. That's unfortunate. I agree. But if you want to spend the money for it, you'll get it. I mean, Rob Liefeld is like the lower person on my list for artists. I would still love to get his stuff, but I mean, my top three are him, Jim Lee, um, obviously Rob Liefeld, Humberto Ramos. If Michael Turner was still around, he's definitely up there on my list. Passed away way too early. Oh, Mark Silvestri piece would be really good. David Finch's pieces. I got a piece of his artwork. It was a print, but still just as fire. A Greg Capullo piece would be great. Yeah, he usually sells his old like his setup sketches, like his mock-up sketches. He'll sell those from time to time. Scotty Young is definitely one that I want to get, and J. Scott Campbell. Those are big ones that I would love to get pieces from. J. Scott Campbell ever comes back to Florida, I'm definitely going to go find him and see if I get a piece of artwork from him. Oh, that is epic. What's going on, Eva? Yeah, I look. I met. I mean, you've had a chance to meet David Finch, so you know how he is, how he how he communicates with people and whatnot. He is just super nice, just chill. Oh, I forgot one other person, John Boy Myers. That's the person that I want to get a piece of artwork from. Let me be honest, like that guy right there, like he definitely has my like he's gonna definitely get a commission out of me. I don't ask for a lot of commissions from artists, but he like as far as like popular artists, um, but he'll definitely get one from me because he took such good care of my son. So we went to a convention one year, and my son saw this picture that he did of a print that he did of Miles Morales. My son loves Miles Morales, and this is on the heels of the movie coming out and all that stuff. And my son's like, he really wants that, and I said, I'm coming here because I wanted specifically to see you because I wanted artwork from you. He goes like, which one does your son want?
He says that he really likes this one. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to give it to you for free because it's my last one. No worries. I'm really not trying to take a ton of stuff with me, but your son really wants it. So he hooked it up. He gave him the piece and he signed it. Super cool. So John Boy is definitely one of those people that gets kudos in my book. Yeah. Yeah. Just certain people, that definitely should be on this area. Well, good for you. I mean, I wish I could do that. I just don't have enough space to do that one. I collect comics. I don't collect comics for reading purposes anymore. That's one of the reasons why I'm out of sorts. I collect them because I love the artwork. I'll have to check that artist out. Yeah, the problem with me collecting comics is I have an issue with cost versus value and quality. And nothing against a lot of these artists that are out here, but my biggest issue, digital work, I think people lean too heavily on it and it takes away from the artistry. Like for me, because I do this stuff, I look at the art very critically, and I want to be able to notice the actual art versus the digital enhancements. And a lot of artists nowadays, I can tell where the inker has come in and has really pushed the artwork. I can tell areas where they haven't really tried very hard. They've taken a lot of shortcuts, and I don't want that. I really want authentic pieces of artwork. And it takes a trained eye. Most people don't care, but if I'm paying $5 a book, I better get a damn good book. There's a guy that just his book is called Ghost Pepper, and his book, like most books, are 24 pages. This dude legitimately does a 32-page book every book he comes out, and I'm like, this is like it's girthy, like it's a full book, and every page, every panel is just like magic. Yeah, his name's Lullaby, but Ghost Pepper is dope. Yes, I do have another. I do have a Transformers blank. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can find it here. Yep, I got it. Yep, there it is. I do have another blank. Okay, so let me know what you want on it, and I'll go ahead and jot that down so that way I don't mess that one up. Let me see if I can do one thing. Where's my blue pencil? I think I'm gonna have this blacked out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna black that out. Because I want it to be kind of like ambiguous. Do I want to put an eyeball in there? Yeah, we can do that. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. You want old school RC? Or are we looking for one from the movies? I'm gonna kill this RC piece. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. You saw the other Transformers one, right? I can tell you honestly, the last, like, because we were just talking about comics, the last comic book series that I read was that Transformer series, and the only reason I read it is because when I went to the comic book store. Okay, yeah, just send me the one that you want. Give me a reference. Just, send it to me in my messages, and that way I can just make sure I have the right one. Um, so my comic book shop guy was like, "There is a scene in the new Transformers book that Darren Warren did, and he's got it looks like a scene from Transformers the movie, and the guy's very good at kind of giving you that same energy that you would get watching an animated short. He is so good. Um, when they switched artists, I was kind of disappointed, but Dan Warren's got to go off and go do other things. So let me make sure I got the right RC. So the RC that I know, so there's two different RCs. So you got the RC from there's multiple, I should say. Or so you got that RC. That's one from like the movie, like the animated movie and the cartoons. And then see if I can find the one from Transformers One. And then we got that RC. That's more like the ones from Transformers One. I'm sorry, no, that one. That's the one from Transformers One, the one on the right. So you just let me know which one you want to do, and I got you. Oh, Gabe, I meant to tell you, there's a surprise coming with your other card that you bought. And that's before I found out about the coloring book. Just so you know. All right, I'm gonna have to darken this up a little bit, give it some shadow. Yeah, that you know what, that'll definitely be helpful for me, for sure. Anything that you can send over is perfect. Yeah, one if not both will get done on the show tomorrow. Try to get those out of here as quickly as possible. And then I got to figure out how to ship them so that way I don't um, get a problem happening. So I'm going to make sure I take care of those. All right, so little red with the helmet. There, we're going to put some red on the inside of the helmet. Yeah, comics nowadays are, I think for me, again, like I said, the value of what I get versus what I spend is not the same. And that's disappointing for me. I don't know why that is. It's very odd because years ago, so when I first started getting comics, I understand um, the whole fact that cost to supply is different, but I know that comic companies, you know, they're only when they print books, it doesn't cost them a ton of money. because they buy them in bulk. When you have to buy like 30 to 40,000 books, you're buying in bulk and the cost goes down. However, there's a lot of cost for those books. So you think about it, yes, you got to pay the salary of the artist that you employ. You got to pay, you know, the publishing company and all that kind of good stuff. However, at the end of the day, you're still pocketing a ton of money. You think about people that self-publish, even though they aren't doing 40,000 books. If they if they're doing a book, they're not doing like a single issue. They're doing a whole graphic novel. They might sell that for 20 bucks, right? When these companies sell you a graphic novel, the graphic novel is 20 bucks. You get more books in a graphic novel instead of getting the single issue. So it doesn't make any sense why they're going to charge you obnoxious amounts of money. Are they charging you that money initially, and then once the popularity dies down, then they can charge less? I don't get it. It's weird. I mean, if Todd McFarlane's company can drop comics down to the low rate, I think theirs is like $3 a book. Why can't everybody else? Stop being so money hungry. Take care of people. I mean, unless people are making millions of dollars again like they used to. I don't know. Shoot, I might actually make that black around him. Huh. I might do that. Just to make that pop a little bit more. Yeah, the other part to it is that I feel like there's too many books out too. I remember and when I was first collecting comics and all the Spider-Man titles came out and I'm like, man, why are there so many fucking Spider-Man? I don't get it. Like you had Spectacular Spider-Man pop up, and then you had Amazing Spider-Man pop up, and then you had Spider-Man, um, Spider-Man 2099 come out. It was just a lot. And even though we weren't paying a lot for a kid, it's still a lot of money. I mean, that's your allowance. You could literally blow your allowance in a matter of a couple of minutes going to a comic book store. And now you have these guys and ladies that go out and they buy their books, right? But they're spending like 80, 100 bucks a week just in books, and we're not talking a lot. We're talking a little bit. And I don't have the funds to pull that off. And even if I did, I wouldn't do that. That's why a lot of books that I buy, if I really like a book, I will buy them. I'll buy all the issues. If I kind of like a book, I'll wait until it's all put together in one graphic novel and I'll buy it. So like Greg Capullo's Wolverine Revenge, I bought the first issue because I wanted to see what it was about, and then I ended up buying a few more. But like with let's see, what book did I buy just recently? It was Bloodshot. So Brett Booth did a book called Bloodshot years ago, and I finally got the graphic novel version of it because I didn't want to buy the individual ones. It's just expensive. Yeah, that's the better way to go. I'm glad I went black. But I'm glad at least there's people out there that are buying those books because you keep comic book shops open. So good for you too. I mean, the best part about having all those different titles is that there is diversity as far as like the books go. It's not just, you know, Iron Man and Superman. There's a whole bunch of characters that are for everybody. I just don't want them to oversaturate the market with all that stuff, though. That's my biggest problem. Now, we have never had an Invincible if it hadn't been for people, thinking outside the box. Okay, so we're looking at an hour. Okay, let's pop on the music again. All right, so Magneto's done. So we got 3 in the bank. All right. So Luke Cage, Kazar, and Magneto. So we just gotta get them signed and they're ready to go. Okay. So when I go to my show, my card show, it'll be cool because I'm gonna have a whole bunch of things ready for people to buy. Yeah, the biggest complaint that I've ever had is that I don't have characters that people want. When I do all my what is it? When I do all of the prints are expensive. So I mean, when I do a batch of them, I'm spending like $100, $150 just in prints. And I have to have enough of certain characters, and I can't print everybody out because again, it's an expense. And because I don't do a lot of shows throughout the year, I got to be very cautious of the ones that I buy. Like my Transformers ones, they were huge. They worked out really, really well. Others, not so much. All right, so we got Craven the Hunter. Craven. Loki. Oh, wow, that's a sold card. So I did not put that in there. Put that in there. See, this is why I go through these things, so that way I can fix this stuff. So, Kazar, Karnak, Raven, Kitty Pryde is sold, and then Loki got sold. All right, so Loki is sold. Excuse me. Luke Cage has not been sold. And Magic has been sold. I know that for sure because I sold her a while ago. Magic. Magneto. All right, so that should clear out that whole lot. All right. Yeah, so that looks a lot better. We're good. So, what do I got next? I got Moon Knight. So I got these 3 right here. Moon Knight, Nightcrawler, and Omega Red. I might be able to do 2. Yeah, Magic got sold. She's gone. I just want to make sure that when I was doing I'm doing my pages, so when I put these in here, even though they're sold, and I have nine cards per page, I still want to put the sold cards in there so that way I know which ones are sold. All right, so we're gonna move on to Moon Knight. So these are the cards. So we have Moon Knight and Nightcrawler. Those are the two I'm working on right now. But I'm gonna work on Moon Knight first, and then we'll jump over to Nightcrawler. Okay. Oh, I hope he does. That's my goal. I was talking on here a couple of weeks ago. Um, I love the designs of Rivals, Marvel's Rivals, the video game. I want to get the art book because I can see the artwork that these artists did. I do not like the gameplay. That I can definitely say I'm not a fan of. I wish they had done it as a combat game or like one of the side scrollers, similar to that of the like the X-Men game that they did years ago. I think that would have played out better. What's up, Kay? Hope you're having a good morning. Well, the reason for that is that I'm not a big person of a third. I don't like third person or first person shooters. They mess with my eyes. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you're back in action. What's up, Katie? Um, yeah, first person and first person shooters kind of make me sick. So that's my issue with it. However, I felt like you kind of lose the quality of the characters that you made by making them a first person, or even in this case, it's third person, so over the shoulder. Um, you did all of that work, all these designs for you only to be really able to see them when you are looking at them from the back. You don't even get to see them from the front. So I think it was wasted artwork. That's just my take on it. And there's a lot of people. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that play the game. Like I have one of my old students that showed it to me, um, and I was like, no, I will not buy this game. I will not play this game at all because of that. But he's like he loved it because he grew up in a generation where first person shooters were the thing, and that's fine. That's I'm not going to poo poo on somebody else's parade. That's not going to happen. Um, it's just not for me. However, from the design standpoint, I feel like they wasted that. So, Kay, are you getting back into the streaming stuff this week now that you're back on your feet? Ooh, I'm about to mess this up, but I'm not doing that. I'm gonna fix that bad boy. Yeah, Moon Knight's gonna require a lot of grays. A lot of cool colors. I gotta watch my lines because I have these two weapons of his, which I'm gonna make red because that's the colors I've been seeing in a couple of things, and I'm gonna use that to kind of. I gotta make sure that I don't cover those up accidentally. Two. Nope, that is definitely not that. That's my one. Okay. Yeah, I got to cut out of here by no later than 11 o'clock because I have to go to the gym for an hour and a half. So, got about 45 minutes and then we're back. Then we got to get out of here. Then I got to go to work. I get to teach tonight, so that's good. Tonight we are teaching my kids about Photoshop and in two classes, and then we're also doing one on composition tonight too. So again, both Photoshop based things tonight, classes, composition, and then one on like shadows or what we call adjustment layers, color adjustments. I apologize, color adjustments, not color adjustment layers. How you doing, Switcher? Yeah, composition is probably one of the hardest things for people to get a handle on. Both of the classes tonight are dealing with composition. Um, However, one specifically going over composition. Yeah, I kind of structured my. It's kind of weird. So I used to watch a show, and I still do. I watch Ink Master, and Ink Master is really cool from a structure standpoint. Oh, you too. Take care, Kay. I hope you keep on feeling better. I hope you get back to 100% in the next couple of days. So Ink Master is cool from the standpoint that they focus on specific skills. So I kind of structured my class like that because I was like, that's kind of a brilliant idea. If you try to build on those skills and ultimately at the very end, everything comes together and you're able to see a final piece. So that's how I decided to structure my stuff. And I want my students to really get a chunky portfolio by the time they're out of my class. Whether you're introduction or you're more advanced, you still get a good um, bit of knowledge out of it. My Tuesday class is kind of cool because we're doing storytelling, so we jump into the depths of really building a story and then doing the art to go with it. Coming up here soon. All right, Moon Knight. It's getting close to the end part, like as far as the ink goes. Get these little moon pieces on his belt. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I just like him barely breaking the borders. Like certain parts of it have to be able to break the border. There we go.
Here are 4 reasons why you need a filter shower head. First, I noticed a change in my hair right away. It felt smoother, way less.
All right, I think we're good. That one came out really, really good. Really super clean. A lot tighter pencils in this one. Gonna do some minor cross hatching, but I'm gonna probably do more of it as I add in the color. What's up, Dabbing Lobo? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you on here. Okay, so because you always ask, Gabe, I'm going to help you out so that way you know what I'm working with this morning. I'll make sure I got my colors right here. That one I got a junk. Oh, I got to do nib for it. Okay, so I have this guy here. It's a warm gray. I will be doing a cool gray on top. Excuse me, on top of that. And then I'm going to use a medium, which is a cool number 5. Okay. So those are the colors I'm going to work with. I will be adding red to these little weapons of his. The light source is going to be coming from this side, so coming from the right. So everything on the left, as you know, is going to be the darker color. So I'm going to jump in there with this, with the warm. I'm going to start, well, actually not that first. I'm going to do one other thing before I do that. Let's get rid of these pencil marks. Oh, I got to make sure. Put this in here. That way it defines his chest. What's up, Janet? What's going on over here? All right, I just want to lightly get some of that out of there. Okay. So now I'm going to go back here with my cool or my warm gray. And again, I'm just putting it so that way I can create the shadows on the left-hand side of the character. Not punching them in too hard. I just want to get them in there enough. So I was lucky enough to have a buddy of mine. Hey, what's going on, Noah? My buddy Chris. He does a stream from time to time. It's called Chris Arnold Draws, or sorry, I think it's Creations. But anyway, he was one of these people like yourself, Gabe. And this will kind of help you a little bit if you decide you want to ever get on the selling side of this. So for years, I always used to look up to Chris's work. He's so good at being able to articulate his work, his designs and everything, and make them look really dynamic. And it's a looser style. Like before, when he used to draw, everything that he did was like super tight, and then he loosened up when he got into the kind of like this cartoony style of artwork. And I said, Chris, you were so good Why are you not coming out and doing shows? And his confidence wasn't there where he felt like he could do that. And it's like, man, you got the skills. You have the ability. You have the gift of gab. You definitely have the talent. You need to start utilizing your skills because, people would love to see your work. Well, surely enough, he does his first show. He has a very successful showing. Because he has a style that's very different from anybody else's. It's still fun. It's very lighthearted, and it looks like it's illustrated. That's the biggest part. Um, his work, his line work is very clean, and if he ever needs to go detail oriented, he can definitely pull it off. He's a published artist. Um, so that's, I mean, it just is a matter of gaining that confidence. You just got to have one win, and it doesn't even need to be a big win, just a win. And that's what I'm telling you, Gabe. I mean, I think the watercolor thing is smart because it's not something that's done, and you're going to gain people by them just watching what you do. People love to see the craft work that people do, and then it turns into more like, okay, I love what you do, but I'm never going to be able to do it, but I will buy a piece from you. I had some people that were seeing some artwork I did yesterday with my students, and they're like, these things are phenomenal. Like, this stuff should be at this art show. You should really put it out here. You never know who's watching. Let me take a look. Where are my messages there? Okay, he's going old school. Perfect. I can do that. See, Gabe, that's the stuff that's really good. That's a fire card. That's so clean. That thing is so clean. Damn, that is really good. That's really, really good work. Yeah, you definitely need to put your stuff out there, man. You have a gift, man. I mean, you got to exploit it. Not a lot of people have those kind of gifts, man. Yeah, I mean, look, my students follow my pages just so they can see what I do. And they'll never tell me. I find out about it because I'm like, I see certain things, like they use certain, usernames that are similar than what they'll use in my classes, so I'll know. Um, but you never know. Teachers, staff, other artists are always looking at your stuff. So just keep in mind, when you're doing that kind of stuff, put it out there. The other part to it is that when you do this kind of stuff, it archives. So because my stuff is linked to my YouTube, all my stuff is archived in YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to use this red, and then I'm going to halo it a little bit. I'm going to halo part of this with this red. And then the inside, I'm going to change the color. The The red's a good contrast to this. I did like the design. I saw a couple people doing it, and I was like, I'm going to use that red instead of like the traditional white. Okay. Start out with that. And let's see how this works. So then I can use that, and I can pop that in there.
Making a few small changes to how you use energy.
Yeah, what I do is I have my iPad that I use for streaming, and then I'll use my phone um, for music and taking pictures. I mean, in your case, yeah, you could definitely use your iPhone for it. Most people do, right? You put it, you get a mount, you hang it up there, and you're good to go. Um, and then I use my laptop so I can kind of read the messages. But my iPad's in a position where I can kind of see all the messages too.
Told you're looking for a driver. What's your name? Sonny Hayes.
Yeah, I definitely use the iPad's got a better camera on it for what I'm doing. Because my phone's much older. My iPad's a lot newer. There we go. Now I'm gonna grab my. I know I have like a light. Oh, I can do the blue on top. Okay, that'll work. So pop this blue in here where the whites are. Now, it's hard to see, but there's this blue that I'm using. And this blue is going in. And so there it is. Just where the brighter sections are. Now you can see like here, because his arm's hiding that, I need to definitely pop a shadow in there. That's a must.
Can't pay much. Not about the money. What is it about?
Yeah, one of the best movies I've seen all last year.
Most people
F1.
think happens in the gym, but it actually starts in your blood vessels. I've been using Vinia, a plant-based form of resveratrol that supports blood flow and circulation. This is the next layer in your supplement stack. Start with blood flow.
I just introduced my class that with our storytelling, so that way they can understand a good story. So I was trying to get them to understand how you could write a story. I'm sorry, be a director or a creator, and you over time get better and better. So I gave them this particular director, John Krasinski, and I was basically telling him like this guy had some flops. What's going on, Stone? I wouldn't even say they were flops. They were movies that didn't do extraordinarily well. So I was like, he did Tron Legacy. From a design standpoint, the movie was beautiful. It was a great movie. He had Oblivion, which did pretty good, and then he really like hit his stride when he did Top Gun Maverick. Like story wise, it was just so well done. There's some pacing issues that I found in the movie, but other than that, um, overall the movie was fantastic. Put the subtle yellow in there. And then I also got to get the part of the belt. I think we'll push that red a little bit more. So I think it's a little too pinkish. You can always tell, like when you're doing work, you can tell when things are just a little bit weird. Okay. Yeah, I know. When I wanted to go see this movie F1, I was like, why are they making this movie? And I really was not interested in it when I heard it was coming out. I'm like, why? They just had Gran Turismo come out the year prior. And you're like, why are you trying to piggyback on this? However, when I saw the concept for it and I saw the first trailers for it, I'm like, this works. And I got excited for it. I want a Halo this in blue. I championed it. I was like, we're going to go see this. I told my family that. I'm like, we're going to go see this. And I only got to take 2 of my family members with me to go see it, but we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so there's Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight's going to serve better if Moon Knight has a black background as well.
Can I help you, sir? Here's the bill from the dealership.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do a black background for him to make him really pop out. I'll put this here. Turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. Just create a little bit of a gap. I just think it makes more sense. You know, he's Moon Knight, so you can create a greater deal of contrast if I just have a black background to him. All right, I think that looks good. Yeah. Let me grab that real quick. Yeah, this Doom one, I think I have this one on my YouTube channel too. Where is it? It goes the Doom covers, and they're here. I'm not answering you. Okay. Yeah. I'll zoom out so that way you can see them a little bit better. Yeah, so this is Doom. So I really, when I did that, my goal was, I was thinking about the whole Doomsday. That's why I did this one. Yeah, that's why I said when I do your covers, I'm going for the throat. So, and this piece was only done with 4 different colors, and I just went hard on it. I have a student of mine that really loves Doctor Doom, and really, I mean, when I say this kid is like hard into his comic book stuff, he's been to the Marvel Studios. He had a chance to see it was either Endgame or he saw Infinity War before everybody else did. He was one of the testers. He's got posters from Chadwick Boseman. He's gone all over the place. Oh yeah, I can do the color, the gray tones for both of those. Yeah, absolutely. That'll definitely simplify things a lot. But yeah, I did that for him. He's got a couple other things that I've got in my works for him. But he goes super hard. Like there's so much comic knowledge that kid has, and he's young. But his gift is that he absorbs things that he really likes a lot. Like he'll dig deep. And I love that about that student. And he's been that way since I met him, I think, when he was 5, and he's 15 now. Do I have my chisel tip up here somewhere? Yeah, here it is. Rather use that. So this is just what. So when I was saying chisel tip, this is what does it. Can you take a good pic of it and DM? What, the picture of the Doctor Doom piece? Yeah, I can definitely do that for you. That's fine. I can do that for you. Yeah, I'll probably send it over to you after I get done with the stream. But yeah, for sure, I'll definitely send that one over to you. Yeah, I wish I could get my stuff out there one day. If I really push for it, I could get myself in there. But I'd rather self-publish because then I have a lot more control over the things that I want to create. I might not get as many sales as I would from a major publication, but I'd rather self-publish. So my goal down the road would be to like team up with Image, because Image lets me keep the rights to my characters and I can do my own thing and just produce under their banner. But they're very selective about who they pick to be under that banner, because ultimately they take the hit for your publication. And it's very competitive in that arena. Okay. 1, 2. Oh shoot! I almost used my chisel tip to do that. That was quite a bit of an accident. There's a difference between a 2 and a .02. So Melly, do you do artwork on here, or do you just buy things from people? I haven't had a chance to take a look at your profile. Oh, you're just a collector. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. I don't know if anybody tells you that, but thank you for supporting all of us.
Can I help you, sir? Here's the bill from the dealership where I got my car, and I'd like you to beat it with a better deal on one of these cars. Not how it works. Guess you're not as cool as Verizon, or you your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Can't tell you how much I appreciate people like you. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I had some get this, and this is crazy. So I've never had my stuff CGC'd before, but I had one. I didn't even understand how that whole thing worked. The guy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get your stuff slabbed. I'm gonna get it graded." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "That's crazy." So I know one of them's out there. I just don't know who had. I don't remember who I did it for. Yeah, I mean, it's look. I feel like it's an honor to have somebody get your work. You know, there's something about like when you see somebody come up to you and they're like, "Yeah, I got your stuff last year, and I really want to get another piece." For an artist, yes, that strokes your ego, but that makes you feel really good, just as a person in general. Yeah, I mean, just being able to see, you know, somebody's collection. I think the coolest collection I ever saw, um, and now this guy produces books versus, you know, getting art. So he would come in there with his drawing pads every year when we do free comic book day. So free comic book day, we'd have artists come in, or at this comic book shop, they'd have artists come in, and we just do artwork for the people, just as a thank you, right? And the owner let us sell stuff if we wanted to, but the main thing was just getting connection between the local artist and the people out there. And now he would have like famous artists there. Um, like he would have Carl Moline. He was one of the main guys that was there. I'm based in Florida. So he would have Carl Moline come up, and that was like one of his major guys. He had Clay Mann there, but we would do it, and the guy would bring his drawing pad every time, and every year he would add to the drawing pad. So artists like myself, we would have to go through that drawing pad. We'd be like, "You got this guy's work, you got this guy's artwork," and I get to do the next piece next to this one. And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate what you're doing." I'm like, "That's really cool." Like seeing my stuff next to like a Mark Silvestri and a couple other people, I was like, "Man, that's really cool." I was like, it was a gold mine. All right, Moon Knight is Dunzo. I think I'm going to get started my next one, but I will not finish it today. All right, so Moon Knight is done. He looks good. Yeah, maybe I'll put it.
Just sent you a step-by-step guide.
How'd you make this?
I just downloaded Scribe, clicked start, went through the steps, and Scribe automatically generated a step-by-step guide with screenshots and written instructions.
Okay, I guess.
All right, put some like little dots in there to make it look like it's nighttime. But he looks good, right? Came out good. All right, next one. We have Nightcrawler. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, I'm trying to get through as many of these as I can before I got to leave. So I think I've been able to do 4 today. I think having them pre-drawn prior is the better way to go. But tomorrow I'm coming straight from scratch. I'm going to have roughies of your stuff, and then I'm going to go straight to work.
Something that you can wear every day, not have to worry about it turning your neck green. We'll check out Craft.
Perfect. Yeah, as soon as I get started on it, I usually do like I'll sometimes present my roughies on Instagram. Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Can I elaborate on design? The bust of whose body? So what I recommend if you're going to do something like that, like if I'm going to turn this into a sticker, right? I would definitely bring it into like a Photoshop, or if you have your iPad, you can use Procreate, or even better, if you use what is that? I'm trying to remember that one program. There's another program that you can use on. Let me see. Hang on one second. I'll tell you exactly what it's called. Creative Cloud. You can use this on your iPad. I definitely recommend this than anything else. Just waiting for mine to pull up. No, I wouldn't use Canva. I mean, you can if you want to, but this particular program specifically for the fact that it gives you vector versions of your work. If you're not familiar with what a vector is, it's a piece of artwork that is all sized by math. So all the illustration portions are all done mathematically. What are you called? The program's called Fresco. Okay, so I think I'm done with this one. So Fresco will give you vector-based brushes. So I would do that, make your sticker out of that, and then you can use it on a multitude of things. So not just stickers, you can use it for like, t-shirts, all that kind of good stuff. And the quality is going to be way, way better. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Yeah, I mean, I try to stick with programs that I know are going to do the trick. There are a multitude of different ones that you can use, but those are the ones, like if you understand how to work those Creative Cloud programs, then they're universal. Like a lot of the processes are the same from, program to program. We do a square, a rectangle, oval, cut. I would probably do the form of the actual character because a lot of these places actually do the shape of that. But I would do probably a circle or a square. No ovals. I just prefer like that particular shape. You know, people recognize more of like the squares and the circles than any other shapes. Thank you. Yeah. Um, Cool World is by far one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the first time in a while that I saw them be able to take cartoon illustrations and mix it well with a real world setting. And if anybody watches that movie, they'll notice that there is a very famous, well, now famous actor in it. In that Brad Pitt is one of the lead stars of the movie. I did not know that when he was acting in the movie because I didn't care. I just wanted to see the cartoon and the mix with the real world. Yeah, that whole series that you see in there, that's a Toon June art challenge. So another one of those art challenges I'm going to be doing throughout the year. So I don't just do this. I'm going to be involved in a whole bunch of other things too. Yeah, you'll find a whole bunch of little different things that I do in there. I try not to stick to just one thing. This is the longest running series that I think I'm going to be doing. As I do my graphic novel next year, that I will definitely be streaming some of that process in there. Yeah, I have this guy that I follow. His name's Sketchcraft. Rob Dween is. I follow him, and I specifically, if you ever reach out to him, one thing I always ask him is like, are you streaming this? Are you streaming this? Are you streaming this? That's like my number one question I always ask him. And I ask him that question because I like watching the process. I don't necessarily have to listen to the video and all that stuff. However, he's become much more vigilant and making sure that he is telling what he's doing throughout the process. So that's good. But watching his technique is really, really cool. And that's very helpful. I mean, anybody that's learning how to do artwork, you can always learn from other people. And if you have people that really catch your eye as far as what their artistic styles, ask them. You know, I'm always asking. And I ask to a point where I almost feel like I'm being annoying. But at the same time, I know I'm asking for a reason. So yeah, it might be annoying, but it's helping me understand what that person's doing. I wish he would bring back a series where people would ask him questions and he would basically bring their artwork up and then showcase how to fix their art. He did that on one of my pieces, and I'm forever grateful. I still to this day have that piece of artwork. He was talking about working with gradient maps, and this is probably like 10 years ago, and walking people through how the gradient maps worked. Can't believe it's been 10 years since that video's popped up, but yeah, about that long. I think I'm just going to simplify this. I just want to put a red band here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, I'm good with that. That'll work. That will work. We'll get this black, and then we're going to give them a couple pieces that are lightened up. Let's see what time I'm looking at, and I'm past my time. All right, guys, I apologize. I have to cut this short and cut it so abruptly, but we were able to get all of those pieces done. So we got 4 pieces done, and I'll be back tomorrow, I believe at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and I'll be doing this until probably about the same time, and go from there. So if you guys got any questions, anything like that, let me know. Melly, I will start working on your stuff. I'll get my roughies done tonight, and hopefully I get started on that tomorrow. And then, like I said, I'll do it in those two tones and knock those out for you. Thank you so much for doing those purchases, and I'll get those out to you as soon as possible. If they're a little delayed, I will let you know, but I'm gonna try to knock those out super fast. But again, guys, thank you so much for being on here, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great and blessed day. Bye-bye.